So when it comes to Michael Malul fragrances, there's something about the Ktoret line that always reminds me of being on holiday or being on vacation. And I think that's because these fragrances kind of transport you to these exotic destinations. Here we have a huge compliment getter. This has been incredibly successful in the office for me. This one is called 831 San Lucas. It's the newest introduction into the Ktoret line. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this spring and summer ready fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin my fragrance review of San Lucas from the Ktoret line by Michael Malul, and I tell you all about this fragrance, how it's done so well on my skin, the freshness, the apple, the iris, all of these other agreeable ingredients, and I tell you about the performance and all that good stuff. I do want to start things off by mentioning that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you take something of value from today's episode. I also want to mention that I'm going to leave links down below if you're interested in picking up this fragrance. They're not affiliate links. I won't be making any sort of kickback from them. I just want to make it as easy as possible for you to find the fragrance and have access to it. So here we have a fragrance where the notes are conveniently listed on the back of the box. In the top, you have apple leaf, fresh cardamom, and bergamot. In the heart, you have iris, geranium, and lavender. In the base, you have cedarwood, sandalwood, and tonka bean. So you can see there's going to be a bit of a duality between woodsy and fresh and aromatic. The lavender in here definitely makes it contemporary. The iris cleans things up. The apple makes it very tart and fruity with a bit of refreshment in the opening. In any case, I'm excited to give you my thoughts and experience on the fragrance, but let's start things off with the presentation. In the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get a burst of apple and lavender. Now the apple is very agreeable, very easy to get along with, and it also gives you that hint of refreshment in the opening that I personally love in fragrances, whether it be Boss Bottled or Leighton by Parfum de Marly, any number of other fragrances that contain apple, Greenlee being another one. They always have this sort of bright, refreshing effect, and this fragrance is no different. You're going to get a little bit of citrus, you're going to get that apple note, and it opens up very fresh, very easy to wear. It has this casual vibe about it, but that's only because when I smell it, I'm reminded of being on vacation. There's like this very easygoing, serene, lighthearted quality about it without being light per se. This is an enduring composition. I've gotten really good longevity from it, given the fact that it does possess a lot of brighter, fresher ingredients. So, like I said before, in addition to the apple leaf, you have the fresh cardamom and the bergamot. Like I said, I think the citrus is secondary to the apple leaf, but I do get something fruity in the opening, which is done very, very nicely. In terms of the cardamom, it's not overly spicy. There are certainly a lot of fragrances out there that utilize a great deal of spice. That's not necessarily happening in this fragrance. As a matter of fact, I do get the lavender in here. Now, lavender can sometimes be evocative of cleaning products. That's not happening in this fragrance. The lavender here is youthful, contemporary, and not overly assertive in any manner, right? It's just there to add this sort of refreshing quality and to complement the apple leaf and the citrus that's in the opening. Even trying to compare the lavender to any other fragrance that I own can't make too strong of a comparison. So far, the only thing that I can kind of think of is like YSL's Y. So Y by Yves Saint Laurent. That fragrance kind of has the same refreshing quality about it, but this fragrance seems like it has more chapters to it. What I mean by that is YSL's Y seems very compressed and consolidated, like there's perhaps a little bit too much tonka bean, which you're also going to find in this fragrance, right? So it does have this slightly sweet undercurrent, but that I think caters more to the tonka bean game. This is probably a little bit easier to wear and not as sweet, more on the side of refreshing, which I personally enjoy. I see myself wearing this a whole lot in the summertime. There's a lot of fresh aroma molecules that make it so agreeable, compliment worthy. And I got a compliment from at least 3 coworkers when I wore this to work recently. I'm a teacher. My in-class support teacher complimented me on this. The attendance coordinator at my job complimented me on this. And one of the administrators was walking past me to her office and she goes, "Oh, you smell pretty good." And so I've gotten a few compliments from, putting this on at 6 o'clock in the morning, and this was like well into the day. So this was like right around noon, which is typically when I take my lunch. But in any case, it's done very, very well for me. Also wanting to mention the sandalwood and the cedarwood in the base. I think those are not just secondary, but I think they're tertiary to the lavender, the apple leaf, and that fruity vibe you get in the opening. And in terms of the iris that's in here, it just kind of gives this clean, gentle quality in the heart without being too strong, and it doesn't give off like a lipstick vibe. And that's something that iris is typically associated with, or it's one of the qualities that are usually attached to the smell of iris. You don't have that happening in here. Very easy to wear, very versatile. I'm a fan. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now first, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I think it's a fairly unique scent given all the parameters and the note breakdown. And I know I made a comparison to Y by Yves Saint Laurent, but still this fragrance does things in its own way. It possesses a certain level of uniqueness, the apple, the iris, the lavender. Very youthful, fresh, contemporary, and definitely a compliment getter that's done very, very well on my skin. Longevity, you can expect about 7 to 8 hours. Projection is great for the first hour to hour and a half. I think because of that bergamot and apple leaf combination, it's very bright and exuberant. And it doesn't even start to sit closer to the skin until about that 4.5 to 5 hour mark. But even then, it radiates within an elbow's length. It's right around that 7 or 8 hour mark that it kind of turns into a skin scent and you can pretty much reapply. Versatility, I think it's great. It's completely unisex. You can wear this one in the hotter weather. I probably wouldn't wear this one in the winter. I think for the winter time, I might go with something like Bali or Jet Black or some of the other heavier hitting fragrances from Michael Malul. And I think that this one is great casually and definitely gives off vacation vibes that I personally love. In terms of the presentation, we do have new bottles. I like the turquoise look of the bottle with the gold hardware. It just gives off this very classy, but also like laid back and vacation-like vibe that I personally enjoy. My final verdict on this fragrance is if you are a fan of brighter, fresher fragrances, great for the office, incredibly versatile, perfectly unisex and strong compliment getters. And if you're a fan of notes like apple, lavender, bergamot, something on the fresher side of things, you're gonna love San Lucas by Michael Malul. Thank you so much for taking your time today to watch this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I love bringing you information on brand new fragrances. If you took something of value from this review, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I do upload future videos to this channel, and give the video a thumbs up if you took something of value from today's episode. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.